and we'll play 2 of them just before 3 o'clock. But this afternoon as well, we've started our focus on looking on the work of women filmmakers across Oxfordshire. And just before the travel, we were hearing from Ali Palmer-Smith on why she got involved in filmmaking and why community filmmaking in particular means so much to her. Also working in community projects, Burdick, who came in as well to tell us her story and how she followed the community route after starting her film career on the other side of the camera.
Well, we'd have to go back an awfully long way. I mean, I was a child actor, and I made my first movie, or acted in a movie at the age of 11, which was Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, and it was the film of the book. But I went on to do a film degree, just after having my son, so I was a single mum, went to college, and did a degree in film, and then from there went on to work in places like advertising agencies, as well as a film company in Ireland. And so I did television as well. I did a magazine programme for Channel 5, and so I've got quite an eclectic mix of experiences to draw on, and I've just basically always been interested in storytelling of one sort or another since a small child.
So it's interesting that as a child you were on one side of the camera, and then as you grew up it was the other side. Why do you feel that sort of behind the camera now is where you're more comfortable?
Well, I think I love storytelling, and even as a child I used to read a lot of books to my younger brothers and sisters and make up the endings and make up crazy things and add to the book. I'm just very interested in storytelling, and particularly now what I'm interested in is hearing unique voices and a unique take on a story.
We were hearing from Ali how she initially got into the programmes and was learning her trade, and you did a filmmaking course. Was it something that you thought would be a career for you? Did you have any idea of which area of filmmaking you wanted to head into?
Well, when I was in college, the head of the film department was quite adamant that none of us would be getting jobs because there just weren't enough jobs out there in the film industry.
Isn't that just what lecturers say, because they're bitter and twisted that they haven't got the jobs?
Absolutely, probably, yes. He definitely wasn't making films. And he said, and as a single mother, no way, you definitely won't. And that just was, you know, what drove me on. And my son and I just put the TV, the portable TV in the back of the car, the VCR, a few clothes, and we just literally drove off to sort of seek my fortune. And I was never going to let something like being a single mum or being a woman get in the way of my career. And so I just set off absolutely doggedly determined that I would succeed one way or another.
Now, Ali mentioned the Oxford Film Video Makers that you are involved in as well. What capacity are you involved?
Well, OFEM have been extremely good to me in that they've been very inclusive. I mean, they've been very supportive towards me, is what I'm trying to say. So OFEM have been very supportive in that when I started working with people with learning disabilities and wanted to hear their voices and wanted to help them to write and direct their own short movies, what they did was they supported me to put in funding applications to the UK Film Council and to Screen South, and supported me through that, and that then was the platform in which I was able to then offer courses to the learning disabled community, which is what I did.
And again, it sounds like with you, it is about getting people's personal stories across, which really, you know, ignites it for you rather than going down a commercial route. Did you ever think of working more commercially?
Well, like I said, I did work in an ad agency, and our clients included people like Nike, and so what I've enjoyed doing is taking some of the ideas that I came across, the art ideas, the photography, the music, the best of the best, and applying that and giving that experience to the learning disabled community. So I really enjoy being able to share that knowledge and those skills that I got from doing a degree in filmmaking, and simplifying it and offering that to people who've got a learning disability and allowing them to use those skills to make really good films.
Is it very rewarding? I imagine it is, passing on the tools, if you like, to allow people who wouldn't normally have the opportunity to express themselves in this way. Do you find people excelling themselves in suddenly finding a niche so they have a voice, if you like?
Absolutely. It wouldn't be an understatement to say it's life-changing. It improves people's self-esteem, their confidence. Quite often people have something to say, but nobody's listening. Once you've made a film, people are listening because you've got an audience, you've got a screening, you've got a platform, and it could be the first time in their life. People are really listening and reacting. You've got the feedback, you've got the applause, you win awards. It makes a huge difference to people's lives, and just seeing themselves and people similar to them on the screen. People with learning disabilities don't see enough other people with learning disabilities on television and in films. And when they're actually writing the script and then seeing people acting out that script, or if it's documentary, addressing the issues that are important to them, it just has an amazing effect on their sense of self-worth.
Because you've done an awful lot of work with autistic people, haven't you? And that was a channel for them to express their stories as well, which people might think would have been a particularly difficult group of people to teach. So how did that work?
I think you've got the best of sort of both worlds. Yes, people with autism quite often have difficulty communicating, but they also have quite often have the ability to learn a technical skill, and so filmmaking combines quite well. It gives them a way of communicating other than through their voice or vocally, so they can use so many other textures and means to communicate an idea. And at the same time, they've got the technical platform there where they can, the logical way of working out how something works. And people, generally have such an interest in learning new skills and are fascinated, like Ali said, by the magic of film, by taking something and then seeing this develop and just blossom into this whole more compact product than that which they started with. So it's, I think with people with autism, it's a fantastic tool.
And last month the Oxford International Women's Film Festival took place as well. What does that bring to the women filmmakers in your eyes? Is it important that there are festivals like this focusing on women?
Well, I think absolutely. I mean, we need festivals that bring out the voice of marginalised groups of people, and although women make up 50% of the population, we're not equally represented as directors, and this brings people together as well, where you have a lot of women in the audience and you have networking and you have the ability to sort of meet people, so that's a great part of that type of festival.
And have you got any projects lined up that you're looking at working on?
Well, actually, Ali and I have just collaborated on a documentary called Stingray, which is about a nightclub of the same name, and we've included the voices of the people that work there, the people who participate and enjoy the club, and we've actually got a young lady who's rapped on a track. She's done the rapping and the vocals, and we put that all together, and that's actually going to be coming out on the My Life, My Choice website.
And that, if people who didn't hear the interview before, it's a nightclub that's run for people with learning disabilities by people with learning disabilities, isn't it?
That's right, and on the documentary it's clearly listed all the amazing roles, the names of the people and the roles that they do. So if you check out that film, you'll see the sort of groundbreaking work that's actually happening here in Oxford. So that's mylifemychoice.org.uk, and that video will be on there.